What's going on, everyone? So this one, this is a crazy article, and it's actually by this Russian RT news source, which is crazy. But they published a report that's actually by the IMF. So it's pretty interesting. The Russian news source is publishing a report by the IMF, and this report is not good for the U.S. Supposedly, I couldn't believe it. Supposedly, I can't say it. The Saudi Arabian economy is gonna outpace the United States this year, supposedly, according to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. The kingdom, Saudi Arabian kingdom, continues to recover following the deep pandemic-induced recession. Now, why? Why would they recover, outpacing the United States, the number one global superpower, right? Well, guess what? All those Russian sanctions, all those anti-Russian, confiscations that they performed, well, they drove up the price of oil. So the high oil prices will likely, according to the IMF, will likely drive this boom, this economic boom for Saudi Arabia. So the IMF predicts that the kingdom's GDP will grow by 7.6 in 2022. That's the fastest rate in almost a decade. The US is projected to see high inflation until next year, okay? Which means it's going to keep our economy kind of tapped or capped. And that is very unfortunate. So the real domestic GDP growth at 2.3, the IMF says, for the United States. That's less than half of last year, which was apparently at 5.7. So that's pretty wild. The Saudi GDP growth follows the economic hit, okay, from 2020, when their economy contracted to a low percentage of 3.4, which is still actually wasn't even that bad. Apparently the US was 2.3. Okay. So Saudi Arabia is likely to be one of the world's fastest growing economies. Whew. Very pro-business reforms and a sharp rise in oil prices that basically helps them, hurts us, and apparently it's helping the Russians too. It's not helping us. Just absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, according to the IMF, economic outlook will depend on whether the kingdom overspends its extra oil revenue. Overspend on what? What in the world could they spend on? Anyway, now, here's the report from the IMF. Saudi Arabia to grow at fastest pace in a decade. Pretty wild. So systemic low risk increases in interest rates are expected to have only a limited impact on Saudi economy. Well, apparently somebody's doing it, right? Look at this. Turkey doubles Russian oil imports. Doubles. The country's refineries reportedly cite greater profit margins as the reason. That means that they're getting these low-priced energy imports, oil imports from Russia, while Russia's selling it to the West at an incredibly high price. Now, the sad part is that we're seeing the Western citizen, suffering potentially from mass poverty. Okay, this is in the US and this is in the European Union. So for the EU, they're saying that households will fall behind on their energy bills, just as people have been falling behind here in the United States. The rising energy prices could lead to mass impoverishment of the West. This is so sad. This is according to the University of Liège in Belgium. the EU will fall behind the energy bills. The perfect storm of the energy markets and the geopolitics of these clowns, okay, where they're looking out for somebody else. They're not looking out for their citizens. That's the problem. And in their estimation, they're saying that the energy crisis will be far worse than the 2008 financial crisis and the oil shocks of the 70s. That's crazy. Worse than '08 and in the 70s. This will have economic consequences, especially for purchasing power, and lead to financial constraints. Now, why purchasing power? That means higher inflation. Higher inflation. So your purchasing power is going down. And according to this professor, Damien Ernst, it says it will be impossible to control the inflation. Power prices have continued to reach record highs, intensifying the energy crisis and stoking fears about access to electricity and heating as the weather begins to cool. So bad news all around. It's kind of scary, actually. And I really hope the strategy of some of these geniuses gets on board with reality. There's nothing else to it. Jesus. I do like this quote here. I don't know who this is. Here's a screenshot. The essence of strategy in business, government, and education is not beating your competitor. That's war. But to create a customer bonding love. You know? If we all just got along, right? So this is from RT. And here's another funny one. Screenshot. Put it up here. How is your sanctions working out for you now? Ouch. Ouch. Here's another one. Yeah, we're sending billions and billions upon billions and billions across the pond. And here in the US, we have homelessness, drug addiction everywhere. You have really divisive problems affecting everyone. You know, more people are worried about money, the economy. They don't care about certain issues that don't affect them. So let's hope that something comes up in the near future, because this is getting pretty bad. And be careful with your smart thermostats. But, you know, here in the US, there's a big push for the renewable energy movement. And this probably drives up the prices of gas and oil. Now, for example, I'm sure everyone has heard that California just voted to ban the new gas vehicles by 2035 in a push for this EV, electric vehicle utopia that will happen in California. Now, this might affect other states too. Virginia has something on the books that whatever California passes will also apply to them. So this is not just a California thing. And of course, if California goes with it, then probably Washington, probably Oregon, these rules, these laws will probably affect them too. So this is a really big push for renewables. And that's great. You know, renewables are awesome. But we need to also stay grounded in reality. What is going to happen to food production, food transportation, to inflation if we keep printing. That's kind of the big problem. So let's see here. That's gonna be it for now. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Smash a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in the next one.
Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me?